What's up, guys? Today I want to talk about mental health. So 6 years ago I started this YouTube channel, and it has kind of taken a lot of different variations. It's kind of been a tech channel, and then it was kind of my soul searching kind of channel. Just me trying to motivate myself into taking a big leap. And in 2019, I made that leap.
Hey guys, Roddy here from Merritt Productions.
I started my own marketing agency, started out first doing digital marketing and social media marketing for local businesses, and that kind of has now expanded into a full-on marketing agency where I have full-time staff, an office, and we work nearly 7 days a week sometimes. It's grown so much that my company is now kind of like in its third phase of growing. I went from being at a home office to being at a little small 2-room office to being now in a 1,000-square-foot office, and almost outgrowing that office as well. Fast forward to now, and life got hectic, it got busy. I'm 42 years old, and your body changes when you turn 40. I didn't want to believe that at the time, but it does. And despite all that I did to try and fight that, it didn't work. So in the fall of 2024, I was at the height of my career. I've been making more money than I've ever made in my lifetime. So much so that I have multiple bank accounts and do whatever I want, buy whatever I want, pay all my bills on time, have no trouble paying for anything or really doing anything that I want. I had great friends, I had great staff, I had a great business. I was just growing leaps and bounds, and I had a small little side hustle business that was also growing at the same time. I had a really nice house in a really nice area with a really brand new nice vehicle. Purchased a second vehicle just because I wanted something even nicer, and life was just good. I pretty much had anything and everything that I wanted, but I didn't. And at the time, it seemed like those days of being frustrated and angry were warranted. It seemed like the kind of moments of explosive anger, both in front of people and secretly and privately at home, were justified, except they weren't. But I didn't see that. And the times of not feeling wanted, or the times of not feeling like I was important, seemed justified because I was alone and I wasn't being invited to go do things, and I spent a lot of nights by myself, going out to eat alone, going out to see a movie by myself, going out to do just about anything all by myself. It seemed like life was very good, but life was also missing something. And in September of 2024 is where I really started my spiral downward. I noticed that I was creating these habits of kind of dropping things, plans, and just canceling plans, or just stopping doing the things that I enjoyed. I became an avid bike rider and used to ride bikes all the time and did multiple trips with a friend of mine. That wasn't happening. I was in multiple clubs, and I was dropping out of them out of frustration and anger, and left and right, every time I turned around, anything and everything that I once enjoyed and loved doing, I was no longer doing it because I was seeing it as something that reminded me that I was alone and I was by myself. Probably if you went back and looked at the last 10 years, you could probably start to see a pattern that reflected a guy that was not who you met in real life, was not the guy that you talked to on the phone, was not the guy that was part of your podcast or whatever it might be. And I think that I did a decent job. I won't say I did a great job, but I think I did a decent job of actually hiding what was going on. In October, that downward spiral became greater and greater and greater, and to the point that multiple instances throughout October saw me hurting myself in multiple ways. I became obsessed with going home and drinking alone, or going out to a bar and getting drunk enough that I knew that I was still able to make it home, but then turn around and go home and drink some more until I was completely intoxicated. I found myself just kind of going into this cocoon in my home by myself of really sad, depressed music on top of taking a downer and alcohol. And all of that to say, I wound up in therapy starting in September. I didn't really want to open up to my therapist at the time. I just kind of took everything that was going on as just being part of life, something that you just deal with and you just handle. And everyone has bad days or bad nights or bad times or whatever. And being a single guy at 40 years old or 42 now, it's just something that you deal with. And I didn't want to completely open up my entire life to this person, this stranger that I met. But I knew that it was important for the longevity of life that I addressed my mental health. Fast forward to now, and it was the lowest point in my life. I had a day that was really tough. And that night, I drank and got really down, really depressed, and got to a point where I didn't want to live anymore. The next day I tried to pull myself up out of that, but it was hard. It was physically hard for me to get out of bed, to get dressed. And I had an event to go to, an event that was not for work. It was for fun. It was to be around friends and people that enjoyed my company. A great day, a beautiful day outside. The sun was shining, the weather was perfect, and this event was to be really, really fun. And it took every ounce of strength that I literally had to pull myself out of bed and go to this event. And the whole time I felt like I was walking around watching myself. I was shaking hands, I was smiling, I was having conversations, but I didn't feel like I was doing it. I felt like I was watching someone else do it. I tried to spend the day with my friends, spend the night hanging out with my friends, but when I came home that evening, I knew something was really bad wrong with me. And the next day I opened up to some of my best friends and told them everything that had been going on. I also messaged my therapist and told her everything that was going on. And in this moment, I realized that what was going on with me was something that I couldn't control. It wasn't normal. It wasn't something that I could fix by myself. And so with that, I began the process of trying to get better. Unfortunately, I didn't act as responsible as I thought I was. I technically needed to go to a doctor and open up to my medical doctor about what was going on so he could help me. So a few weeks later, after this incident, I had another one that was even worse. Hanging out with friends all day long, should have been a great day, get home by myself and just immediately feel alone and crash into depression. A few other things throughout the day, frustrations and flying off the handle and speaking to friends and loved ones in not such a great way was what happened. Seeing things completely wrong for what they weren't, just because your body's not right and needs to be fixed. And that was the day that I sent a message out to one of my friends saying I might hurt myself. And that same evening, I completely blacked out, crashed in my bed, and no one could get a hold of me. My friends actually had to break into my home. Luckily, they know how to get in without tearing the door down, but they get there, they see two vehicles outside of my garage, they see my garage door open. On the inside of the house, immediately they can't get me on the phone. They've banged on the door, they've yelled at me once they got inside, no answer. And they probably expected the worst. Hallway to my bedroom was closed. They bang on that door, open it, yell my name, no response. And they finally find me passed out in my bed, wake me up, and we have a very serious conversation about taking further steps to get me some help. That next few weeks after that, now 4 weeks after that, I feel completely different. I go to my MD, I talk to him. Obviously, I'm asking him about things like antidepressants and stuff like that, which he agreed was not a good thing for me with my history of drinking. So he started me on some simple testosterone shots. Seems real, I don't know, simple. But after 3.5 weeks of taking them, I feel completely different. I feel new, I feel better. I have felt happy again. I have not felt alone. I have not wanted to hurt myself. I have not had any moments of anger or rage or depression or loneliness or any of those things that clouded my judgment, all for the simple fact that I was just kind of had low testosterone. Most people don't see the warning signs. Most people don't want to admit they have a problem. Most people don't want to know that they're getting older or that their body's changing. But something as simple as getting a shot of testosterone once a week is not the end of the world. And that's not the answer for everyone, but it is good to find a good doctor and to be honest with them. I think it is good that more people are talking about mental health, but I think that more people need to realize that maybe some of those things that you're struggling with in life that you think are just stress are not. And I want this to be a video to encourage people to know that you can have your life back. If you're struggling, if you're fighting with your friends and your loved ones, if you've stopped doing some of the things that you used to do, if you find yourself being more of a recluse and more secluded and more withdrawn, at least ask the question and maybe see a professional. There are tons of ways that you can do that. There are tons of services out there that you don't have to meet with someone in person. I needed to. I tried some online stuff. It didn't work for me. So me doing it in person was actually the best way. But there are tons of other resources out there, and I want to list some of those here on the screen and let you know that some of these ways and some of these organizations have helped me. Many of them have text lines. A lot of places, if you should look and see, you can Google it to see if there's a warm line that you can call if you're feeling bad. Sometimes sleepless nights are just not stress related. They're not just a bad bed or what you ate that day. So I would encourage you to hear my story out and to know what's been going on with me. And I'm being transparent because I felt like no one understood what I was going through. I felt like I was by myself. I felt like that I was different, that I was not what the typical person who struggles with mental health. I wasn't one of those people. I didn't want to be one of those people. But it's okay to be one of those people because there's a lot of us out there, and what you need to realize is that it's not that bad. Thank you guys so much for listening to me. Thank you so much for giving me the opportunity, for the support, for everything that you've done. And I hope this video helps you.